Hello everyone, this is 12th Harbinger and welcome to my channel. Now that the 1.0 banners of Wuthering waves are confirmed and with the new 5-star characters revealed, you might be confused who to pull between Jiyan and Yinlin. Without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Let's start with Jiyan and his kit. Jiyan is an arrow DPS character that uses Broadblade as his weapon. All of his attacks, right from his basic attacks to his ultimate skill, deals arrow damage. Well, all the characters are like this. I think there's no such concept as physical damage in this game. His resonance skill or elemental skill dashes forward dealing arrow damage, and it can also be casted in the mid-air. After using his ultimate ability, Jiyan enters a special state where using his basic attack or heavy attacks will deal additional damage up to 3 times. That was all the basic. Now moving on to the core part of his kit, Forte Circuit. Jiyan will accumulate resolve points when hitting an enemy with any of his basic attacks, which include normal attacks, heavy attacks, mid-air attacks or dodge counters. Hitting an enemy with his intro skill will instantly give him 30 resolve stacks. When casting his resonance skill, if he has more than 30 points of resolve, the skill will deal 20% increased damage by consuming 30 resolve points. Similarly, if his resonance, liberation or ultimate skill is used in possession of 30 or more points, 30 points will be consumed and an additional damage will be dealt. In his burst state, his resonance skill damage will be increased by 20% without consuming any resolve points. His first passive works towards increasing his basic and heavy attacks damage after using his intro skill, and the second increases his crit rate after hitting target. So yeah, basically his kit focuses completely on dealing damage, and no buffing or healing capabilities for the team, which makes him a selfish DPS. Now let's move on to Yinlin's kit. Yinlin is an electro sub DPS character that uses Rectifier. Similar to any other character, all her attacks deal electro damage. Hitting an enemy with a basic attack after triggering a dodge counter will mark the enemies with Sin Binding mark. This mark disappears when Yinlin leaves the field. We will get to know more about this mark in a bit. Let's see her resonance liberation first, since her resonance skill is quite special. Her burst deals an AoE electro damage, and when a target is hit, they are marked with the Sin Binding mark. Which means you don't need to specifically do a dodge attack to apply this mark, as it can be easily applied by her burst. Her resonance skill deals electro damage and puts her in a magnetic state for 8 seconds, which enhances Yinlin's basic attacks and evasion attack. An additional damage will be triggered along with her basic attacks. However, this can only be triggered up to 4 times and only once by each basic attack, which makes sense as her basic attack combo string is of 4 hits. Hitting an enemy with the Sin Binding mark will deal extra damage. This is not the only use of this mark. We will get to know in a bit how important it is. After the magnetic state ends, it will deal one more instance of electro damage. Now on to the main part of her kit, her Forte Circuit. Forte Circuit points, also known as judgment points for Yinlin, is restored when any of her basic attack hits, from the initial hit of her resonance skill, and from the last hit of her skill, which is triggered when the magnetic state ends. After her Forte Circuit is fully charged, her heavy attack will consume all the judgment points, causing an AoE electro damage. If she hits an enemy with the Sin Binding mark, which is applied from her burst or dodge counter attack, this mark will be replaced by punishment mark, which lasts for 18 seconds, which is quite long. This is what makes her an amazing sub DPS. The Sin Binding marks are cleared when Yinlin leaves the field, but the punishment mark stays. When enemies with the punishment mark is hit by any character, it will deal additional electro damage. Her outro skill buffs her electro damage by 20% for 14 seconds, which lasts even when she is off field. And her passive works towards increasing her own damage and crit rate. Alright, now moving on to the comparison, who should you pull? We already saw earlier that how strong these two characters are. Jiyan is a top tier main DPS, whereas Yinlin is a top tier sub DPS. And the winner is Yinlin. Wait, hold on, I'm not saying Jiyan is bad. Yinlin being a sub DPS is more flexible than Jiyan, as she can fit into multiple teams. We already have many strong DPS characters like Kalcharo, who is a Shannon banner character, or Danjin, who is a 4-star character. It's not like we don't have good sub DPS characters. Sanhua is an amazing sub DPS who is a 4-star character. However, we have more options for top tier DPS characters, and DPS characters are more likely to get power creep than a sub DPS or support character, which makes Yinlin an overall better choice than Jiyan. Well, both are strong in their own roles. One is a hot daddy and the other one is a hot mommy. And it's up to you who you want to choose. Let me know in the comments who are you going to pull for. Don't forget to check out my short beginner's guide. I will be making build guides for characters and many more videos when the game releases. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Make sure to like the video and share it with your friends. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching.